Welcome everybody to another episode of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 7. We have a very special guest from the US and someone you've probably heard before coming back to help with the Q&A with TX Marine, who is going to join us. So GDR will also be on the podcast as a long-time friend of TX Marine. Never spoken to him, so today will be a first I would actually speak.
Spoken at GTR before.
Oh, yeah, we have. Welcome to the podcast, Pete and JR. How are you both?
Good, thank you.
Good.
And how are you?
Yeah, doing
I'm
well.
good.
Doing well. Welcome, TX Marine. You're from a team called Military Family. We'll get a bit into that in a minute. And obviously, possibly with all the marine and military type of stuff, you're probably in the military. But we'll get into that shortly.
That is correct.
That is correct. So, looking forward to hearing a bit more about that in a minute. Pete, did you want to talk about anything in particular this morning?
Well, I've got things to talk about, but I would like to talk about the recent date. So I think that should be a group discussion, and then I'll talk about my segments.
A recent date?
Update.
Update. Update.
Yeah. Update.
Are we gonna have this? Are we gonna have this chat about the fact that the order of cars has changed?
Well, that's one of the things. Yeah.
Go on.
We've got a whole segment to go through first.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Who would like to start it off? Did Jack Rabbit have any notes on it?
Yeah, I did. And actually, this is the version 1.58.0. And the great news is, first of all, we are going to have a new vehicle. It's called the Rock Bouncer. And it's described as a gutsy off-roader. And it has some cool new soft body physics for its wheels. It's like it can go through rocks and good at climbing hills, I suppose. And I think it's good for the, what do you call this? No airtime team event.
Oh,
what do you think?
Well, I haven't played it yet because it's still
I haven't.
in the waiting for event list.
Mm-hmm.
But I've watched the videos on YouTube, and it looks like it's not as good a climber as the Moonlander at slow speed, but when it's in high speed, it looks like it's going to be a really good climber. Which makes
I haven't seen it myself. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense to the actual vehicle Rock Bouncer or Rock Climber, whatever they're called. Those,
it does.
Hills.
I've seen videos of actual cars like that actually do rock climbing, but they don't do it at speed.
The ones I've seen they do. They just go nuts, especially the motorbike ones.
Yeah, nuts straight up the side of a hill. So yeah, it should be an interesting vehicle. By the looks of it, it's got lots of fuel, so it'll probably be good on adventure as well. I've seen a couple of videos of IO and Vershak that have shown that it's capable of 10k pretty much out the box without any extra
really?
parts. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's gonna be one hell of a vehicle. Maybe even break some records, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it looks like it's going to be a good wheelie vehicle too.
Possibly.
Vershak, in his videos, he tend to play a lot of cups with it on the back wheel. I don't know if that's a thing. Makes it go faster. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Not sure.
Who knows? It could be like the monster truck, where if you land on the back wheel in the right place, you get a little forward boost. Same as the what you call it, the rotator does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look like a mix of the monster truck and the dune buggy, so it might have a similar mechanic to it.
And I'd add the rotator to that mix as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a menage a trois triangle. The buggy, the monster truck, and the rotator went into the garage together, and out came the rock monster.
Rock monster.
Oh God!
After the new vehicle, we have a new cup, and it's called the Cup Town Babylon. I haven't seen it yet, and if there's a new cup, there's also a new vehicle unlocking system.
Yeah.
Yeah, a new way to unlock vehicles.
That's
and
all the new players, though.
Yeah, but if you have a new vehicle, you would do this new unlocking system. And you will need a vehicle blueprint. It's a new currency to unlock vehicles.
Another one.
Yeah. So it says it can be earned
into one game.
Oh yeah, that was a question. That was one of the questions actually for that. No. How can we keep up? Yeah, it says that the blueprints can be earned in the daily task and maybe in the future in other ways. And okay, what else? And of course, the biggest update is that the track editor is leaving the early access and will be available for everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
And part of that is that if you have VIP, you still get to create a track in any of the environments. But if you're not VIP, you need to pay for the environments that you want to create tracks in. And Fingersoft will have a track of the month. So you might be able to do adventure tracks for that month only for free. Or you can buy the tracks to then create tracks in that environment.
So you get countryside first. Theme of the month is the bog, and every other one is $6.49 to purchase if you want to create a map in that theme.
Well, that's in Australia. That's for you.
That's for me.
That's for you. I don't know what it is because I still don't have. I've still got VIP on the main account, and I still don't have the update on my alt account at the moment. So yeah, sorry. Keep going.
Well, I think there's that's all of the updates that we need to be updated with.
Well, it says, and I note that they've had various bug fixes, tweaked consistency of spider webs, and they've also balanced the mummy toilet paper strength from 5-ply to 6-ply.
It's very important. That's a very important update,
Very
right?
important. Very important. So that's for the people. Difference. That's for the people that have read all the way to the bottom. All right. All the way to the bottom. Right?
Yes.
Copyright at Fingersoft Ltd. 2023.
I see what you're doing there, Eva.
It's also
the bottom,
all the way to the bottom.
6-ply toilet paper.
And then it's also they've bumped his crackling volume by 1.5.
This is the witch's crackling.
They've increased the global increase to rattling skeletons.
Oh my god!
And they've added new white sheets for the ghosts.
Freshly washed, I hope.
Well, maybe not. So I think someone's having a little bit of fun writing the patch notes.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I don't know if it's Reese or David or Salah or all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you get when you release something in Spooktober.
Oh,
Yeah, you see,
yeah.
it's October,
Good
not.
point.
Yeah, so I
I don't know if you guys had it, but one of the community-friendly challenge things,
Mhm.
there was a one with the superbike, and it was a steampunk skin. And instead of having smoke out of the exhaust, it had steam coming out. And
oh,
I'm pretty sure that was a new thing in the update because I didn't have it one day and then it was white the next. I'm like, oh, that's different.
that's interesting.
I think
Now,
it was the third or fourth one.
steampunk, steampunk. Do I have the steampunk skin on them? You reckon it was the
On
motorbike? Yeah.
the superbike, yeah.
No, I've just got to try and find it because I'm going left and right haphazardly. Going
Now you
where
got to
the
go to the list. It's
where
now
the
towards
where
the
the
start.
where the hell is it? Where the hell is it?
That's what I'm doing.
Um,
It's so
do I have?
frustrating, isn't it? Why did they change that?
I don't have a steampunk skin. Is the
You're
steampunk one
kidding me.
the gold one?
The gold one, yeah.
Okay, well I've got the gold one. Let me just do a track. Storm Rider Cup. Yeah, it does. I don't know if it looks like smoke or if it looks like steam. Who knows?
Bad
It was
fart.
white.
Okay, let's go. I'll try it with a different skin now. We're doing this live. What the hell?
What's going on?
Done. Let's go. Oh, it is. It's gone from black to white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't
Well,
that interesting?
I will post a video of that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I just lost 400 points, by the way.
Rookie mistake.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna finish the Road to Legendary this month anyway.
What a shame.
No, that's very cool. All right. Well, that's a really good pickup, Pete.
Yeah, I wasn't the only person that picked it up. Somebody else in the Fingersoft channels picked it up as well.
Yeah,
I can't tell you exactly who, but yeah, I thought,
it was
well,
somebody.
that's different.
Well, thanks to somebody for picking that up,
You're welcome.
as well as Pete,
Yes.
as well as Pete. Yeah. Alrighty.
I
So
suppose we'll get on to my one.
yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the public event with this new update, they've brought out a new dark mode. So it's like really black and no color except for your name. And when you pick up the fuel, it turns into color and then
And the
disappears.
coins, too.
And the coins is also, yeah, they're also black and white. And then you pick them up and they turn into color. So yeah, it's a bit different, a bit of getting used to, but I quite like it. It's nice.
I always flinch when the birds fly up from underneath.
Oh, the bats, yeah. They take up half the screen and make it really easy to see, don't they?
Oh, they take up a third of my screen.
I must have a smaller screen.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It's a me problem.
A you problem. Yeah, it's definitely a you problem.
Yes, but the current public event is called Dawn of the Drivers, and it is inspired by Dawn of the Dead because it's a zombie chase.
Mhm.
One of my all-time favorite events. I don't know what it is. It just makes it a little bit more thrilling to do time attacks when there's zombies chasing you.
Mhm.
My go-to on this one is the muscle car with wings, cone boost, and winter tires. It doesn't always get anywhere near the top, but it's my most favorite vehicle to choose. Just feels nice and fast, but they always catch me. Upcoming public event is called Boulder's Gate, and I reckon that is Reese's little homage to his favourite game, Baldur's Gate, on the PlayStation. Obviously. I think they're going to be using the new vehicle, probably maxed out, so everybody can have a play with it at a max level, and that should be a lot of fun. Next up is team events. The current team event is called Night of the Living Drift. 4-track event, 5 vehicles available. The first track is a distance, so zombie chase, and this is all in the dark mode, same as the public event, like every track is. I'm going with the muscle car, probably same as what you guys are using. Yep.
Using muscle car.
Yeah. Track 2, stay on the ground. I'm using the formula, but I've also had to play with the sports car, and the muscle car is faster, but the sports car does okay. Sorry, the formula is better, not the muscle car. I'll muck that up. Never mind. Track 3 is multi-jump. I've been using the Mark II, the Hill Climber Mark II. Kangaroo setup, but have your roll cage on 1. So jump at the start, get rid of the roll cage to make it a bit lighter, and off you go. Also had a go at using the formula on this track, which is a lot better, but the formula is also a lot better on the stay on the ground. So you just got to weigh up your options. Track 4 is crushing through, breaking all the pumpkin heads to get a time bonus. I've been using the CCEV with heavyweight, coin boost, and winter tyres. If you have nitro, the nitro goes well on that track. And on track 2, nitro goes well on track 2. But I don't have nitro just yet, so I haven't been using it. And that's pretty much my Pete's. How about you, Eva? What do you got for us?
Well, I was going to talk about TX Marine's run on the podcast test track. So
Yep.
I've got the test track up on my screen. I will talk through it. He's picked the racing truck, which is a little bit weird. We'll go into that a little bit later. But racing truck with wheelie boost, fuel boost, and nitro, which this track was never designed with nitro in mind because nitro hadn't been invented yet. So we'll watch his replay. He's taking off and he's using used his nitro to start with off his first boost. He trips up on the logs, over the overhead logs, gets over the mud pit, uses his nitro again to get up over that hill, clears the water and sand very clearly, gets bogged in the sand, uses his nitro to try and get out of it. Early nitro and gets stuck on the roughly bits, through the sand, onto the 2 consecutive fuel boosts, which is good, but in the sand, over the next hill. I'm interested to see how he gets stuck on this log, which he doesn't. He gets a nice bit of wheelie to get up and over that. Gets stuck in the sand again. Fuel boost again, and then nitro across the line. So a really good run. A minute 10.9. There's only 2 other people who've used racing truck. And so why did you use racing truck?
I think the only reason why I used it, I was wanting to experiment with something that just was different, to be honest with you. Yeah. And so I didn't really get a chance to really study the track much at all. So when I went ahead and did it, I said, I'm going to try something a little different, see how I can clear it. It's a difficult track.
It is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a difficult track for sure. If I'd spent more time on it, I don't know what modifications I would have done. I would have I'd have to study a little more, but yeah, it's a fun track. When I've got to go the distance, like especially up in the air and stuff, I'll usually try to run truck, rotator, just different things like that normally aren't. Well, I mean those are usually used for distance, but or with height in mind. But yes, I just wanted to try something a little different on that and see how I could fare against other people that weren't using that kind of vehicle.
Yeah. Because truck wasn't the first one that come to mind when I designed this thing. I was originally thinking about super diesel, and
that was my first choice.
Yeah, it was my first choice as well. And then I realised, no, super diesel's not the fastest. And then you get people like Hyped who basically do it in every vehicle really fast. But anyway, but no, it was interesting to see the racing truck being used, and I'm glad that the traps that I put in caught you in certain places, but you clearly got through that last trap using wheelie. And then
and I love these. I love the truck. That's one of my favorite vehicles with wheelie, just to see how far I can get with that wheelie boost itself.
Yeah. Wheelie boost on it is really powerful too, and it's really easy to get the front wheel off the ground. So no, very very well done, very well done.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Can I just say, I also played with my old account, Eva. So
yes,
Goose isn't the only person. But I've only ever played it with one vehicle, and that is the Beast.
Oh.
And I'm currently 10 seconds faster than TX Marine.
Using
hell! Now I've got to. Challenge is on.
Challenge is on. I was trying to catch up with Kodak.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Yeah. No, it almost did. It's just that last little bit where I run out of fuel and he doesn't. Yeah.
Anyway.
Good fun.
So, TX, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I suppose we'll start with just a little bit of background. So I suppose the first question is mostly game related. How long have you been playing HillClimb Racing 2, and did you play HillClimb Racing 1?
I played Hill. Go ahead.
So yeah, have you played HillClimb Racing 1? And just give us a little bit of history as to why you started playing.
Sure. So I was in a bowling league years ago, and one of my bowling mates was playing HillClimb Racing 1 in between
pins.
Exactly. So we pretty much, and so yeah, I started with HillClimb Racing 1. I want to say, oh my God, probably back in 2014, 2015 ish, and off and on. And then I picked up when HCR2 came out. I picked it up, played it for a long time. I would switch between that and a few other different mobile games. I'd get burned out, and then I'd come back, burned out and come back. So I've been playing cumulative almost 10 years, or 9 to 10 years now, it seems like.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I mean that's like it was 2018 when HillClimb 2 came out, so that's now 5 years old. Yeah, so yeah, 10 years is about that.
Yeah.
No, very cool. And when did you join HillClimb Racing 2?
I want to say probably 2019, because it was just a year or two before the pandemic, and so that's when I picked it up, and I wasn't on a team probably until 2021, early 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you start your own team, or did you?
No, I decided that since I was playing a lot, I wanted to see what teams were all about, and picked up a few small teams when my GP was around 4,000, and I saw the team I'm currently on. Finally, they didn't have any openings at the time, so I waited. And I want to say now, it's 2023. So about 2 years ago, they ended up having openings, and I joined in now. So yeah, I've been on team probably since 2020, early 21, and then I'm on my current team now since probably a little bit later, 21.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So tell us a little bit about Tex or TX Marine and where the names come from.
Sure. So I grew up in a little town north of Waco, Texas. Waco is a city of about 190,000 people. I grew up in a town with probably 200 people just north of it. And when I was 18, I joined the United States Marine Corps.
Wow.
Yeah. So I joined in, let's see, I graduated. I was actually late to my graduation because that was the day I was raised my right hand and joined in. So I went to Marine Corps boot camp October 1st of 93 and became a U.S. Marine December 23rd, 93. So I was right after Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield.
Wow.
We were in the Somalia, Bosnia era conflicts that we were part of with NATO. So yeah, and I ended up getting medically retired back in 1996. So yeah, it's good times though. Miss it sometimes, but yeah, that's kind of a little bit about the military portion of it. I was a machine gunner. That was what I did. So when I see Anzac Day, it kind of hits me hard because I understand what it's all about. I understand the people that gave their lives for the freedoms for us to do what we're doing right now. And so many countries don't get that opportunity. So yeah, that's what it is. And so now I live in. Oh, go ahead.
No. It's interesting you mention Anzac Day because Anzac Day is a remembrance for, and this sounds really bad, but it's a remembrance for the wrong reasons because people died. Instead of rejoicing the people that lived, we remember the people that died, and I think that's when I say the wrong reasons, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean we should remember them for more than the fact that they just died. They, they did a whole lot to make sure that we have the life we have now.
Right.
And just remembering because they died is not enough.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So yeah, I don't believe in reincarnation or anything like that, or nothing untoward. But every single time I look at and go into or visit a place where there's remembrance to the Second World War, I feel like I was there. I feel like I was there. The First World War, the Second World War, I feel like I was there. And I just can't get that feeling out of me that, I was either somewhere or doing something through the First World War. Even though I was, not born or anything like that. And it just, hearing a radial engine playing overhead just runs down my back as if, like look out type thing. I just can't shake it. You know what I mean? It's very.
I do.
Sorry. It's just one of those things. I spent way too long at Messina in Italy and at Britas Vilna and in a few other places around Europe, at the memorials, just wondering, how people got to where they were, So yeah, sorry, I digress. Pete, do you have anything to say? Sorry.
You mentioned that you got medically retired. Do you mind asking how that happened? Like, did you get shot?
I did not get shot. This was how crazy it was, is that I have Crohn's disease. And
oh shit.
Yeah, shit's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
In more than one way or another. You are correct, sir. You win 1,000 points on that one. No, I would have gotten Crohn's whether I joined the Marine Corps or not. Of course, I didn't know that when I was 18 years old. But in the summer of 1996, I ended up losing 52 pounds in 2.5 weeks. I went from being a 5'9" 160-pound muscular guy to drop into, and I hate making this type of description because it might piss someone off, but like a little Ethiopian people where you see their ribs, when they were starving, that you'd see on the old TV shows. That's what you see, all my ribs. And to open my own door to my barracks and stuff, I didn't have the strength because I lost so much weight and muscle. So the year after that, they ended up medically retiring me out of the Corps. They ended up removing my entire large intestine. So that's what happened. But you know what? I'm able to see. I'm able to smell, hear, taste, feel, walk today.
And you didn't get shot.
I did not get shot.
That's always an upside.
That is a definite upside, because when you do go to a military hospital and you do see people burnt from head to toe from an IED explosion, or the wounds of war, but you still see a smile on their face because their daughters are pushing them around and laughing and giggling, you realize to be grateful for what you do have in life and not what you don't have anymore. And I had to learn that at a very young age, but I'm very grateful to that I did learn that at a young age. So yeah, so life is good. Yeah, some days are more shitty than others, but it is what it is. Life goes on. The sun's coming up tomorrow, whether I want it to or not. So you make the most of the day.
That's a good way to look at life.
It is a good way to look at life, but it also, I think a lot of people forget about perspective. Perspective is wonderful at giving someone an opportunity to see something from someone else's eyes. And, as you've said, you still get to live and breathe and all that sort of stuff. And there are people that are complaining about the fact that they don't have Wi-Fi.
It's not fast enough.
Or the Wi-Fi is not fast enough, and my battery power is down to 3%. Oh my god, I need power. I've had some things happen in the last 3 or 4 years that have given me perspective that I never thought I would have. But in saying that, it's nowhere near your perspective. But I appreciate that you've brought your perspective to the table, because
absolutely.
Yeah. GDR, did you have something to say?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's good to be back on the podcast, and just a one-off. Don't be calling me again, please, Eva. But yeah, just a one-off, because I really wanted to talk to my mate Tex and talk about sports. But I've just really been taking all that in, just been listening in, and wow, it's been my it's on my ultimate dream. It's on my bucket list to witness a dawn service at Gallipoli. That's my ultimate.
Oh, wow.
That's probably my number one thing. I want to take my kids to see their their home country of Lebanon, because my wife's Lebanese, and they're part Lebanese. I really want to take them to see Lebanon one day. And part of that trip, I'd love to go to Turkey and roughly, hopefully, match it with Anzac Day, which is the 25th of April, and witness a dawn service at Gallipoli. That's probably my ultimate, because I don't know, Pete, Eva, and JR know I'm pretty patriotic, and I love my country, and I think it'd be very emotional to witness a dawn service at Gallipoli one day. Hello, Tex. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. This is so cool getting to talk to you finally.
It's good to talk to you, mate. And once we get all the HCR2 questions out of the way, and we'll talk some sports, and I'm pretty sure we got some fellow AUSNZ listeners in our sports channel that we regularly listen to. Would love to get your views on a few things, and we'll go from there, I guess.
You got it.
Yeah, once we get this pesky hill climb stuff out of the way, let's talk sports.
So maybe Eva and JR and Pete can learn a thing or two about sport. I don't. Pete, you're not really into sports. You got access to the sports channel, but I don't see you comment too much.
No. Considering I played AFL for most of my life, I'm not really into sports.
You're good on. I know you. See, your knowledge on AFL is pretty good, but I don't really know if you're into it, like watching it still.
No, definitely no.
Yeah,
it doesn't interest me at all.
See, unfortunately, I just don't like ball sports. Any sport
don't like playing with balls.
No, any sport that you only need one ball to play, I'm just not interested.
Juggling.
10-pin bowling.
That's only one ball.
Do you play 10-pin bowling?
No.
Lawn bowls?
No, there's more than one ball in lawn bowls, but I don't do lawn bowls either. No, I'm talking about needing big balls to play these sports, like motorsport, rallying, that sort of stuff.
So you like to play with wheels, not balls?
Yeah, engines and stuff. More than one horsepower.
The Olympics as well, that doesn't really have too many balls. Are you interested in the Olympics, Eve?
Oh, bits and pieces. The Olympics has got its own, patriotic style thing. Yeah, shot put's one ball. You
see how far you can throw this metal ball.
You need to count, Pete, more than your thumb, all right? More than your thumb.
Well, they're introducing cricket for the next Olympics.
I don't have any thumbs.
Do you have balls?
Oh, poor Brobot has no thumbs. He can't count.
Brobot, do you have balls?
Oh,
that's funny,
mate.
You leave my balls out of this.
Okay.
Play with fuzzy balls or what?
Oh God, it's gone below the belt all of a sudden.
Good one, mate.
That's what happens when I come back onto that podcast. It just seems to I know the low level it was when it started.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, JR, do you have any questions for Marine before TX?
Yeah, I do have a question. You play for the military family. My question is how long have you been playing with the military family? And my next question is, are all the members active in the military or retired, or do you have family members playing with the military family?
I've been with the military family probably around 2 years now. Most of the people, most of the guys in the military family are retired.
Okay.
Do I have family members? No. My dad, he wouldn't know how to turn a freaking phone on to save his life. And my brother, he's a crackhead, so no. I'm just kidding. No, most of them.
Which part are you kidding about? The fact that your dad can't turn on a phone, or your brother's a crackhead?
My brother, he's just a pothead. That's all he is. Yeah, not a big deal. But but no, most of our guys are retired from the military. We had a few international retirees as well. We had one girl from Greece who was in the Grecian Navy. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say a person from Greece, if they're a Grecian or if they're a Greece. Hell if I know. But yeah, they were in the Navy in Greece, and so we had and then there was one, I think, from Canada or something like that. So it's really interesting getting to kind of see how different countries kind of do their deal. So yeah, that's really cool.
Indeed,
That's good.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of neat getting to see how other people are with their different cultures and military and all that. So I enjoy the team I'm on right now. They've some of our with us all being military, retired from the military of different branches, because we have Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, and then now Coast Guard. So, and then now Space Force, whatever the hell that is. So, but yeah, that's where it's kind of neat getting to see how different branches get to kind of bash each other, but at the same time, at the end of the day, have fun with each other.
So you said Space Force. Isn't that what Steve Carell's the head general, isn't he?
I don't know who the head general is with the Space Force, but they
Isn't
do
that
some.
Elon Musk?
No.
No. So
Steve
the Space Force is an actual branch of service that is now with the United States, and they're kind of really top secret. There's a lot of things that's very hush hush about it. They are really kind of a side branch of the Air Force, but they do a lot with satellite, kind of looking for asteroids, and then of course nuclear threats, how throughout the world and stuff like that. But there's not a lot known about them because they're a very, very new branch of service.
The only reason why I said Steve Carell, listeners are probably thinking this because of that Netflix TV show about Space Force. Steve Carell's the main actor, and he's the 4-star general on the show. So just in case anyone was wondering.
Noted.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the Russian doctor that I had on last episode with Voco, she was telling me about her time in the military, and in Russia, everybody does service, whether you're male or female, at any age. At a certain age, you get inducted and drafted to do your military service. So, and she talked about it very proudly when she talked about it to me. It's something that she's extremely proud of, and she was always happy to talk about her adventures with guns and all that sort of stuff. So, it is interesting listening to the different sides of military and military service.
Israel's the same way. Israel, everybody has to serve in the military, and it's and those people are very well disciplined. And getting to talk military to those guys, they're a very good, as far as well disciplined, grounded group of people in Israel. So I've served with a few of those guys. Good people.
Yeah, no, very cool. Very cool. All right. Do we want to start on the community questions, guys?
Yes.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just before we start on that, can I ask Tex the first question about HCR2?
No.
Well, I've got to ask for permission these days. I can't just jump in anymore.
Go for it.
Tex, I just want to know, mate, how did you find the daily comp, and how did you hear about AUSNZ?
I was Googling for midget strippers and it came up. I'm just kidding.
What came up?
Oh my god! I thought you were saying. Oh my god!
Oh, that's
Too
so
I'm
short.
making a
that's,
special point to
that's
look
funny.
You see, they're too short.
No.
I'm glad that most of our audience are over the age of 18.
Okay, I need to
I'm
Oh
glad
my
Eva
God.
has the ability to bleep stuff.
And just
Uh,
hacksaw away and delete stuff as well.
Yeah.
So what happened was the leader of military family, they end up posting. It was one of the events that y'all had, and so, and not knowing anything about the AUSNZ group, I ended up going to, and I think got invited to the server or something like that, and from there, that's kind of where I learned about it, and I'm very glad I did. It's a lot of great racers, a lot of great people. Had a time in my life with these, so yeah, I think it must have been one of the different
the daily
challenges
comps.
y'all have. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
the daily comps is what it started off with.
Yeah, we get.
And
We
so
get
yeah,
a lot
that's
of
where I
people
learned
coming
about.
through there.
That's where I kind of got started with. Actually, it's a daily challenge event. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and that's where it kind of got started. So
I remember seeing your name many times in the daily comps and having a lot of fun trying to beat you. You're yeah. You're also quite good without parts as well.
he was always up there in the table as well. Like Texas was always pretty.
You're also quite good without parts too.
that's a hard one for me, to be honest with you, and I don't know how. I watch like Kodak. I try to follow his lines, and or other people like that. The only thing is, usually when I get to play those, I only get about an hour and a half because of the time difference and then I go to work. So I don't get to really practice them as much. So I try to remember how, just how the cards react with certain things. But yeah, it's just, I guess I've played a lot of these tracks a lot where I have a familiarization with it, but there's people a hell of a lot better than me that I like to try to look up to see if I can match. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy the no parts for sure.
Yeah.
And you're right, Kodak was really and still is really good at no parts racing.
Yes, he is.
The good thing about the daily comp is everybody has 24 hours on that one track, so it doesn't matter what time of day, everybody gets the same amount of time at it. And I think that's really good, because when we have our public event flash mobs every now and then, it used to be every Friday, but we've sort of slowed down a lot. We try to race against each other, so everybody has to get there at the same time, which different time zones makes it a lot harder. But yeah,
correct.
I think it's a good idea to have the same 24 hours that everybody else has.
And that time of year when we had it last time, we were in the middle of concert season. But thank God it's our outdoor venue, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of. I mean, I had to do half and half, not like what we were doing just a month ago. But yeah, so those were always fun, especially when I jump on and see what vehicle is for that track that day or whatever. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, kind of, especially when you run your first few runs and you look like crap, and then you slowly start improving your times and you find different lines and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know about you, but when you start getting it, you go, your first 100 runs are all at like, 3 seconds off the pace. And then you finally get it. You finally go, oh my God, finally I've gotten, that 3 second break. And then you can't go slower again. Every single run from there on is almost about the same speed. And it's just, It's just hitting that one spot here or that one spot there that changes the entire run.
Yeah. Or if you land a certain way on your back tire or whatever, and you get that little boost that you haven't done in a million tries.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's painful. Painful but fun. Yeah,
Talk about painful. I've been doing the mono wars this month. That's painful. This is
I don't
the
know
last
how.
week.
I don't know how you can get through that, Pete. I seriously don't know how you can do it.
I've been enjoying it. I actually have been enjoying it. Every single track's been a new personal best. It's been great.
There you go.
That's good. That's good.
You're a cup half full kind of guy. I like it.
Yeah, no, very cool. Very cool. JR, you got a question?
Yes, let's go on to the community questions. So my usual question is, my first question would be, what are your other hobbies other than playing HR2? And what do you find annoying or your pet peeve within the game?
Hobbies. We'll go hobbies first.
Yeah.
So just things I like to do on my free time. So I like to go out and shoot my AR or my handguns and stuff like that. That's my stress release here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a certified scuba diver. So when I get a chance, I like to go scuba diving. And then bowling. I like to do that. And just watch football or sports on TV, just to chill. So that's kind of my hobby.
When you say sorry, I'm just gonna cut in there. You say shooting with your AR. What do you shoot?
Oh, I have an AR. I have 10 handguns. An AR-15, 10 handguns. We shoot. Let's see, I've got several 22 rifles, stuff like that. I live on 3 acres of land, so we go out in the backyard and shoot.
But what are you shooting at? Is the question? Sorry.
Just his neighbors.
Okay, yeah.
Just his neighbors.
Okay. No. I forgot that other countries don't get to experience. Okay. So I've got a 12-foot berm in my back pasture that we have different targets just set up.
Oh,
and
cool.
So I just go out and target shoot. I'll set up
shooting
cams.
Accuracy type stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then let's see, in 2 weeks it's deer season, so
Is that expensive?
Oh dear.
It can be. With me, no, it can be expensive. It depends on. I'm also a bow hunt and deer hunt, so I archery and gun shoot. So, yeah, I grew up with a compound and recurve bow.
Oh wow!
So that was what we grew up with. I hadn't ever been deer hunting with a gun until probably just 10 years ago. It's always been bow hunting.
Wow.
Bow fishing. We go bow fishing a lot out here.
And you shoot the deer for food or?
Food. Yeah. Oh no. You don't ever shoot deer for fun. If you're going to kill a deer, you're going to kill it to eat it. That's
no.
And so yeah, that's what we do here. Is now we have raccoons all over the place. They will tear up every freaking thing known to mankind.
How do they taste?
Raccoons we do not eat. What we do is those are vermin.
Yeah. No, I'm staring.
They taste like possum.
It's like chicken. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not deer.
No,
they're pretty cheap.
My field camera has a family of coons from last night, as a matter of fact, coming off the cornfield.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. But yeah, they'll tear up all sorts of stuff out here. So if we see them, we try to get rid of them, trap them, or kill them, or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I target shoot. Yeah. So and here in America, I carry everywhere I go. I'm trained. So yeah, I shoot at least once a month minimum with handguns and my AR.
Yep. Now, an AR is a dressed
Automatic
down.
rapid.
No, it's a dressed down M16. Really?
Correct. What it is. So when I say AR, it's an Armlights 15. It looks like an M16 A4 service rifle, like what I had them, or I had the A2. Aussies, they have the Travors, but mine here in America, it's illegal to own a fully automatic weapon unless you have a Class 3 stamp or pre-85. So mine's just a semi-automatic Ruger AR-15. It fires a 5.56 by 45 round.
Yep.
And you can't have a silencer on it as well. That's illegal as well, isn't it? The silencer.
No, it's not illegal.
Oh, it's not illegal. Oh, okay.
No, you can. Matter of fact, a guy that I work with has 9 suppressors for all of his different weapons. But when you buy a suppressor here in the U.S., you have to pay for a stamp, and so that can take 6 to 8 months for that to clear. But yes, it's perfectly legal to buy a suppressor here and put on a weapon.
I heard in Texas there's like a drive-through gun shop. You just drive in, buy a gun, just like a fast food restaurant, drive through, buy a gun, and then just drive away. Is that true?
No, I've never ever heard of that or seen that in my life, because you have to still go through a federal background check and all that stuff. But for a drive-through, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, like 99% of the gun owners there are responsible gun owners, aren't they?
They are, and I think the thing that gives Texas a rep is just because it's such a large state. Because Texas, Michigan, Nebraska, probably, I want to say half of the states in the U.S., maybe a little less than half the states in the U.S., have the exact same gun laws that Texas has. It's just Texas gets a lot more talk because of how big it is. And also people in Texas, they're a bunch of country boys or whatever that it's just that kind of persona. Now that I live in Nebraska, which is 3 states above Texas, we have the exact same gun laws, gun mindset as the state of Texas does. But the only difference is that it's just the location difference. That's all it is. Yeah. But if I go to New York or if I go to Illinois or something like that, those states are very gun strict, where me even having a concealed weapon can land me in jail.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, very interesting. It's very interesting you mentioned the gun, the differences in the states. And I mean,
right.
You know, you talk about 99% being legitimate people, but with a population of 300 million people, that 1% is a lot of people.
It is. It is. And 1% is really not a fair, not really an accurate number because it's all in perspective.
No.
I don't have all the numbers. No, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, and going back to my other question, do you have
oh yes, ma'am.
find anything annoying within the game? Right. Yeah. Do you find anything annoying within the game?
What I find annoying in the game would be cheaters. I cannot stand a cheater to save my life. Type of job that I do with I do security. I'm also a chief trainer. And when you cheat, you lie, you compromise your integrity, you're useless to me. And when I see people who manipulate to get better scores and stuff like that, using, I don't know, whatever hacking methods they do, that rubs me raw in so many ways.
Yeah.
And not like sitting on the washing machine during the spin cycle type of way. So
you don't see any of the top teams actually really cheating, supposedly, these days.
right.
I don't think we've had a CC team reset for, oh God, it's been a few months, probably about 5-6 months maybe. So
reset at best. For every single one of the heads they cut off, it's like Hydra. They just, more grow back. So for every cheater they find, there's always another 5 or 6 that will replace them with another
that's
way
right.
of doing what they're doing. So,
but the thing is, though, everybody knows on those leaderboard and those records that everybody knows who the cheaters are. So they're not really counted. So we don't really.
Right.
Yeah, but the points are counted. So the cheater steals the 10 points from the actual leader.
What I don't know is, how different it is with Android versus iOS versus PC. I used to play a game called War Robots that if you had an iOS account, you had a small advantage over Android players because of just the way it ran.
oh wow.
Wasn't much lag. There was a lot more advantages with having an iOS account. And PC players didn't always have that because they were running emulators that would bog down to the point to where sometimes it was effective, sometimes it wasn't. I've been always strictly Android my whole life. But with this game, there's very few controls on it. I don't know how much that really plays a difference in Android versus iOS versus PC with HCR2.
No, I doubt there's very, very little difference between them. Because the other thing with the game is it also adjusts to the level of performance of the device it's on. So the game changes the way things work in terms of its refresh rates and its sound quality, depending on the item you're using. So I used to have an old tablet, an A8 tablet, that would barely run the game on its own. And the game had a certain lag in certain areas when you played the game, but not when you're playing the team events, not when you're playing cups. It was when you did things in between playing the cups and playing the team events.
Gotcha.
So, if you clicked on the garage, it'd take an extra second for the garage to click open. It'd take an extra second for the cars to move left and right. And when you went from the garage to the parts location or anything like that, it would always take a little bit longer. But when you were playing the game, it didn't factor at all.
That's interesting. Cool.
Cool
to know.
Pete, have you got a question?
Oh, I've got a couple of questions here from
hang
myself.
on, before we go, have we actually answered JR's question in its entirety?
Yeah. yes, he has. Thank you.
No, that's all right.
I've got 3 questions here, so I'll ask them one at a time. Have you ever been to Australia?
No, and I want to go really, really, really bad.
Well, now's the time. Coming into summer.
Exactly.
You'll get over here, mate. I know the first place you're going to go to too, Tex. You're going to go straight to the. He's going to go straight to the Adelaide Oval.
You're correct. You're a smart dude. It's exactly. I told my wife that's where I'm going first. We're stopping in Adelaide. I want to see the Oval.
Well, Eva knows a lot about Adelaide, mate. So Eva can be your tour guide.
Well, the Adelaide Oval's changed a fair bit over the last 10 years. The old scoreboard is still there, but
is it still an oval?
It's still an oval. Yeah. They haven't squashed it into a circle yet.
Excellent.
Did you know about the retracting lights? The retracting lights, TX?
No, I did not.
They decided that the people in North Adelaide who were very, very rich and look into the city didn't want to spoil their view of the city of Adelaide with these towering lights above the oval, you see. So what they did was they designed some retracting lights that came back down into the ground when they weren't being used. and I think it was the second time they used them. They went to do some service work on them, and the guy doing the service work almost died because something failed, and they then made them extend fully all the time. They were never retracted ever again.
Oh wow!
So they spoilt the view. But since then, they've done all these renovations to the oval, and you can't see Adelaide behind the renovations anymore anyway. So yeah, it is what it is. But it is a beautiful stadium. It is an absolutely beautiful stadium. We took my dad there for his 89th birthday. There's a restaurant, and you can stand out on the balcony of this restaurant and look at the stadium from inside. It was beautiful.
That is too cool, because one of the girls that used to play basketball at the here at the university, she was from Adelaide. So when her parents came down, we were talking quite extensively about the Adelaide Oath. But unfortunately, they were Crows fans. So,
oh yeah. Oh,
Unfortunately.
Crows fans.
Exactly.
See, I lived in Adelaide for 35 years, and I was not a Crows or Port Power fan. I just hated them both just as much. So yeah, I was quite lucky for that.
That's because you don't like ball sports.
I don't like all sports. Bingo.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd give my left testicle to go up there right now. I tell you,
You'll
that
get
would
here,
just be
mate.
too cool.
You'll get here. You'll get here one day. Don't worry.
Well,
Well,
next part of my question. Oh, sorry, you go.
If you're ever coming down, you give us a heads up, and I will meet you in that. I live in Melbourne now. I'm 800 k's away, but I'll meet you in Adelaide, and I'll pick you up from the airport.
That'd be awesome, man. That would be too freaking cool. That would be so damn cool. Yeah, I will let you know.
Good, because I have extensive knowledge of Adelaide. Yeah, extensive knowledge of Adelaide.
Awesome.
All right, next part of my question is, do you have plans to move to Australia, and when is it?
To move to Australia, I don't have any plans to move into Australia just because I've never been there. It would be so cool to come visit and get to see it. What's weird is I go on Google Maps quite often and go to the city streets of like around the Adelaide Oval, or around like in Darwin, or just different locations. I don't even try Melbourne because that's just too damn big. But yeah, but it's just, that type of thing is just so cool. To go on Google Maps around where Penrith is, the Panthers, and to see how the streets, and then see a Coles, or it just feels like I'm there. And that's what's so cool to me. But to move to Australia, I don't know. Maybe one day.
Technology is unbelievable, isn't it? Like the things you can do these days, and like just with the computer and the phone, you can pretty much see everywhere and everywhere.
You were correct.
I heard you can get on YouTube and look up walkthroughs. So people film their walks, and you can walk through towns.
Yeah, walkthroughs are really great. They're really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So TX, I've just put a picture in the general chat.
Okay.
That's really cool. That's awesome. That's a great view.
I'm going right now.
I'll put the picture in the video. Anybody listening on YouTube, you can actually see what we're seeing.
Oh, that is cool.
And that's your old man?
Yeah, that's Dad. So Dad
beautiful.
Dad was like, "What are you doing with that thing in front of me?"
He's got that look. He's got that look, doesn't he? He's got that look saying, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
I've always loved the trees that went around the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of trees they are, but that's one thing I always
Eucalyptus.
remember. Okay.
Eucalyptus. Yeah. What the koalas eat.
Yeah, that is just, dude, that is awesome, man. That is too sweet.
All right. Last question. What is your favorite concert that you've ever worked at? Because you work security, don't you? In concerts.
Yes, I do work security at concerts. I work event security and building security, which there is a difference. But rap shows, I hate them. So, I hate working rap shows, just like what happened a few weeks ago.
It's a good thing I didn't ask that then.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we were responding to a fight, and I tore my rotator cuff, my left shoulder. So, but I will say my favorite concerts to work have got to be like rock shows, classic rock shows. When we had Leonard Skinner here, it was one of the coolest shows I'd ever worked in my life. And when we had Metallica, I worked stage right, and that was so cool with all the flames that kept going up and getting to hear it. I've worked Kiss 3 times. Those were awesome shows to work, and the crowds are just so cool. They're into it. Disturbed. The Five Finger Death Punch, I didn't know any of their music, so it's like, but it's a cool show to work.
Yeah, Disturbed is awesome. I love Disturbed. That I saw a recent video of the lead singer. And you can see it on YouTube. But the lead singer stopped the concert show halfway through the concert because there was a little girl, or I think it was a little girl, that started crying because it was like too loud, or she was getting hurt or something like that. And he stopped the concert, went down into the pit, started talking to her, and said, "Look, everything's going to be okay." I think she was scared for some reason, and he goes, "Everything's going to be all right, you know. You're okay." And she was with her parents and stuff, and she wouldn't have been about any more than like 10, 12 years old, something like that. And this was at a Disturbed concert. And it brought tears to her face and everything. The crowd cheered, and then they got back on with the show. It's really cool. You should Google that.
I will. And a
Dave
concert that blew us away was Ghost and Volbeat. Though that was a weird show, but was one of the most well-behaved shows, which surprised me to death. Ghost, Volbeat, yeah. But Breaking Benjamin, I've seen them 5 or 6 times. Worked them. So, yeah, it's usually the rock shows that I enjoy. But rap shows I hate with a passion. Country shows are fun. I love country shows, too. I did Garth 5 days in a row. 3 days in a row, but 5 shows. Garth Brooks. So we've done a lot of country. Matter of fact, we've got Cody Johnson.
So you get to actually watch them as well. So that's good.
I don't really watch them just because I'm so busy watching the crowd. But I do get to see the stage, and I do get to see the singers and interact. But yeah, I do. In a sense, yes, I get to watch them.
Yeah. Now, just going on to, I want to ask a couple of questions from Muzz, because Muzz is in a similar industry to you, Tex. So he is the coordinator or the team leader for his company, and he does pretty much similar to you. I think he's more on the hospitality side of things. He's like, not really much security, but Muzz has a couple of questions for you. What is your favorite thing about working in the event industry? And his second question is, what is your least favorite thing about working in the event industry? And his last one is, can you tell us any interesting security incidents you've had?
I can answer all 3 of them. My favorite thing of working in this industry is the people. Absolutely getting to see the crowds, interacting with the people. I'm a people person. I enjoy singing and dancing with everybody, but at the same time, if you get to be stupid, then I'll eject you in a heartbeat as well. But the crowds, the people, people pay a lot of money to see these concerts. That's a thing I love most about what I do. And also to know that when people go home at the end of the night, that I did my job and I did it well. The least favorite thing about my industry is the hours. To get up, to be there from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next morning sometimes. Depends on the show. It's there sometimes can be really long hours, depending on what goes on afterwards. A lot of times, but that's really the drawback to that. See what is happening interesting.
Yeah, like some of the more famous incidents you could probably tell us.
Well, ago we found a guy and a girl having sex in a bathroom stall during a country concert. And when we were walking them down after he got really, interrupted during his little escapade, the girl, she bitched at our security the whole way down for interrupting them, and that was their alone time. It's like, really? You were in a bathroom stall having sex. Let's see. So that, or let's see, another interesting thing. There's so many of them. Getting to see how things work backstage sometimes. Now, WWE, those are really interesting and fun because what you see on TV and what you see and what happens like beforehand are so different because there's so much pre-film that happens. Like last WWE, they had a filming session before they went live. And they had tables all set up where they got slammed and all that stuff. And you get to see that kind of aspect of it. Or you see the wrestlers. And if I'm going to piss anybody off, wrestling WWE is not real. So if you think it is, you might want to shut your ears off now because that shit's not real. It's all scripted. But
it's all scripted. It's all scripted.
I'm just saying.
But I can defend the WWE fans out there by saying it's not real. Yeah, it is scripted. But the slams, the pain that they feel, and all
that's just real.
That is all real.
Question.
But the punches and the kicks and everything, yeah, that's not real. But the pain that they feel from a throw or a grapple or a slam, yeah, that's definitely there.
The pain may be real, but what they say the pain amount is not real.
I mean, you'll see them rehearsing.
Like they could be
lines.
screaming and carrying on like they've broken an arm, and then next minute,
right? Yeah. I mean, I've got a script that was torn in half of one of the Raw events or whatever, but you'll see them rehearsing lines in the back and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. They don't want anybody out there when they're putting their ring together because of all the speakers they put under the ring. So
I used to photograph the WWE style stuff in Adelaide, the small federations. Now, not the same budgets. Don't get me wrong. They probably had a budget of $75 for the night. Not 75 million, $75. And a lot of what they did, yes, it was scripted. You say it was scripted. It wasn't real, but the hits, the punches,
the hits and everything. It's funny you say that, Eva. I went to one last night. I took my son to his first wrestling show last night, and it was in some RSL club, and it was so cool. I'll post a video up on the general channel so you can all see it. But it was so cool, and he absolutely loved it. It was a great experience. I think it's Vulcan from Gladiators, the ex-Vulcan. His name is Vulcan.
Yes.
He runs the he ran the wrestling, and it was probably about 500 people there, and it was really intimate, very up close and personal, and it was really, really cool. And the wrestlers were high-fiving the kids and taking photos with them, and my son got a photo with one of the championship belts and stuff. It's really cool. And I only paid $30 for it.
Yeah, monster trucks were so much fun too. Yeah, it's just kind of cool seeing all that.
Indeed. Very cool.
All right, Eva, I think it's your turn to ask a question.
Is it? I haven't asked one yet. Yeah. Okay, so I was scrolling through the questions and having a good listen and having a good look and going, which one would I really like to ask? I think there's one from Cap A. Shout out to Cap A. He's always listening and always he's always asking questions. Why do you play the game? And if you could change one thing in the game, what would it be?
I play the game because I'm a very competitive person. I love I grew up on the Nintendo, the Atari 2600, anything like that. And I have PS5 now. So I'm a big gamer.
Did you have a Commodore 64?
I had a Commodore 64. I still remember that you had to put things like in a DOS command format.
Yep.
Run.
Oh,
yep.
It was well before DOS. Did you play Mission Impossible?
Impossible Mission.
Did you play Impossible Mission on the Commodore 64?
If I did, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
That's been a long time ago.
Yeah. I actually finished the game many years ago. Me and my sister used to play the game, and we'd basically take notes until we finished the game.
See, my friend had a Commodore 64 that we would play on. I did more on the Apple IIc.
Yep. Yep.
So but the Commodore 64, although it's a predecessor to all that, I remember you had to type in a very specific line format on the 256K floppy disk. I don't know it too well. But man, the young people have no clue what that is.
No.
But I didn't get to play a lot of games. It's just when I went over to other friends' house that had it, because hell knows we didn't have a computer. We were too poor. But then the Apple IIc came. That's when we started having classes in high school. And that's we got to play a lot more stuff on there.
And but if you could change one thing in the game, what would it be?
I would think, and this is just me personal, that some of the parts you're not able to get unless you get a lucky roll. I wish there were better ways of getting like the new nitro parts and stuff like that.
Yep.
That would be me. That's, I guess, my only thing. I have certain cards that I don't have like nitro for, or it's really the only part that I don't have for certain cars. But yeah, that would be my only change of the game.
And lastly, what would be your favorite vehicle in the game?
Okay. I would have to say right now, the new muscle car. It's between the new muscle car and the truck that I did the wheelie on. I absolutely love that vehicle to death. So those two.
They handle very similarly.
Yes, they do.
In the way that they fly in the air, the way they, the length of them, they have
correct
stability. That's probably the word I'm using. Stability. They have that stability that the other cars lack.
Right. I used to play rally all the time, but everybody and their dog did that, and you wanted more challenge. Rally is great for universal, but So yeah,
Very
those
cool.
are my two favorite vehicles.
Very cool. JR, you got a question for us?
Yes. In relation to Cap A's questions, here is a question from Fiery, and he has a few questions. His first one is, what is your favorite game mode, vehicle, environment? I think you have answered that. And he wants to ask you, is there anyone who inspires your HCR2 journey?
I gotta tell you,
Unless,
I love
yeah.
what I like seeing, like Foco, Verisat, those guys, how just watching them, how they attack a track. Those guys, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be probably that. I mean, when we do these public events with like Ozen, with Kodak, and all these other freaking people, Toretto, all those guys, just watching how they attack tracks, that's inspiring to me. That's what makes me want to get better. For mode, I used to do strictly adventure. I did, for some reason, I just kept wanting to get farther and farther. But over time, I started getting back. I used to play cups a lot, and then I went to adventure because one, of course, my adventure was low at the time. So, but once I got hooked on it, I wanted to see how far I can get and just keep. So yeah, that's. I have to say adventure now just because I want to try to keep beating my old distances. But I do a lot of. I'm starting to get back into cups a lot more.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Pete, you got a question?
Yes.
Yes, I've got a question here from Creethers. He wants to know what sparked your interest in Australian sports.
Okay, during the pandemic, when there was nothing else on, they started having Korean baseball, and also, and there was this freaking sport that was played on a round field at 2 a.m. I said, "What the hell is this?" So I googled it. What sports played on a round field? And it said something about Australian football, and it was West Coast versus. Shit, who was that? But Josh Kennedy kicked the goal, and I
doesn't matter
thought
about the other team. Just all about West Coast.
Yeah,
Who cares about the other team?
But Josh Kennedy kicked this goal the way that he galloped up and kicked it, and they thought that was the coolest thing since sliced bread. I said, that's pretty sweet. So then we have a Fox Sports 1, FS1, and that's what was playing these. And the next one, I can't remember what the next game was. But then they showed an NRL match, and it happened to be Penrith and Melbourne. And to watch them beat the piss out of each other, that was just cool. that was just awesome.
They say that rugby league is one of the toughest sports in the world.
I believe that. I believe it.
Yeah,
because they don't have any padding on.
It's not just about the padding; it's the physicality of the sport as well.
That's what I'm saying. The American football has padding; they have the roughness, but they're all protected with helmets and shoulder pads and stuff like that.
Well, but they still get hurt. Don't you worry about that. Like the American footballers, they get hurt. But the fact that rugby league, it's not about it's the hits that they take, and it's also about the agility. It's about the fitness and everything else. There's everything else that all adds into one. Yeah, rugby league's one of the toughest sports in the world. That's for sure.
They don't look that fit. But if you saw them on the street, they're just a regular guy. But then they're playing this elite sport. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Well, AFL's got to go down as one of the fittest sports in the world because on average, like they do about, like the midfielders would do anything between 15 to 20 kilometers a game, non-stop running, which is insane. It's like running like a half marathon.
Yeah.
Half a marathon and you're getting hit and everything else. But so that's what got me. And I've actually talked to a lot of people that play football here at the university and asked them, would you play this? Absolutely not. There's no way in hell that most of these people that play American football would ever even consider rugby or AFL. Because
except for Mason Cox.
oh, Mason Cox, man. Oh.
Like,
man.
in all seriousness, what a story he has. Like, I mean, that's a story for another day, but a guy just come out of college basketball, decided to move to Australia, take up a career in AFL, and a few years later, he's a premiership player.
Correct. And his first game was Anzac Day, and he's like, what the hell am I getting into?
Yeah. Playing in front of 100,000 at the MCG.
I've watched that 60-minute special so many times. It's just crazy. It's cool. But yeah, so that's what got my interest in Aussie sports, is that watching during the pandemic, and now I have every year matter of fact, I still haven't even canceled my subscription from this year because NRL still has the Pacific events going on. But I get subscriptions, and every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, I'm watching footy, and then I'll watch Bounce at 04 at our time, which is, I think, 7 y'all's time, 7 p.m. And I watch AFL 360 every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, our time, with Robbo and Wakely.
360 is a good show. That's very detailed, and they get into all the news of the week and everything. And
Yep. So that's my ritual from March 1st, grand final day, and I don't deviate away from that. My wife knows that that's what's going to happen, just the way it is. So yeah, it's cool, man. Awesome. It's cool. I get into it.
Just by joining the AUSNZ server, have you learned from a few of us that we've been talking in the server? Have you learnt more about the games and about NRL and AFL more?
Absolutely. That's, I learned just a little bit just by watching and Googling, but then getting to see a lot of the people from the Oz and talk, and even some of the history of different past players and stuff. These things fuel me to learn more and more. So being on the servers actually taught me so much about footy in general. And then with cricket now, I'd be clueless without the kryptonite, and then you and all the other people here
hitting and things like that. But I would say that cricket is definitely more a technical game, that's for sure.
With ODI and T20, they're very similar. And when you get your power plays, ODI is 2 power plays, I think, per team. But the only thing I don't understand is really how Test works.
Well, the best thing about Test cricket, right? The best thing about Test cricket is they went from Test cricket to one-day matches, right? And then from one-day matches, they went to T20.
Right.
And that's the best thing about Test matches. They got to T20.
There you go.
Right. Now, I'm the sort of person that if they got down to 1 ball each, right, the game became just 1 ball each, I still wouldn't watch.
No. Look, the Test cricket is the pinnacle of the sport. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I
never, ever got Test cricket because it was it was just too long,
it's not drawn out. But it's not about the length.
And then there was we declared, and then they this and they that, and it's like, so the person with the most runs didn't win.
Well,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
It does not make sense.
Yeah.
And then there's they'll say, we declared, and then they come back, and they had to follow on, and because they followed on, they win. It's like, hang on a second, you got them all out, and they come back and they win, but you got them all out
because there's 4 innings, and usually in Test cricket, 2 innings each, and the team with the most runs win. That's how it is.
You can explain it all you like. You're still not going to watch it.
No, I'm never going to watch it. So when they get to 1 ball each and they call it 1, right? So it's T20, so that's 20 overs. So when they get
So
to just one, so when they just
one
do
ball each.
Oh, because it's T20 was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
well, you don't
20
get
overs.
value from you don't really get your value for money if you're going to watch two balls in a match.
Make it
Exactly.
free.
So I won't watch it at all.
Midget strippers, you will. I guarantee it.
You'd watch it for the pre-game entertainment.
That's it.
Yeah, the pre-game entertainment will last longer than the balls. You see, and we've gotten back to balls. Look at that.
We're moving off course here. Let's get back to the questions.
I didn't want this podcast to be all about balls.
No.
Just before I go, guys, because I've got to wrap things up. I've got a jet soon. But just before I go, Tex. So tell us a couple of things. Tell us your NRL team. Tell us your AFL team.
I'm a NRL Penrith Panthers all the way.
Panthers?
AFL. Oh yeah, Penrith Panthers all the way. NRL. AFL. I'm Port Adelaide Power.
Oh, geez.
We are the power to win. Yeah, I can sing the song if you want.
No, it's not a music podcast. It's all good.
You've heard us sing Happy Birthday.
Yeah, we're not good singers.
Don't really have any more questions really to ask about sports in general, but mate, we're happy that you're in the server. We're happy that you could contribute and you're learning more about the games that most of us Aussies love. It's awesome, especially having someone from the US that not only likes the games but understands NRL and AFL. Like, you don't just we watch it, but you join in our conversation like you've been watching the game for the last 30 years. Like, your knowledge of our sports is up there with some of the best of them. So
I appreciate that.
No,
it means a lot to me. It really does.
You're like, I enjoy our chats about it all and everything like that, and your knowledge of our sport, and especially AFL and NRL, it's definitely up there, mate. And keep joining the chats and joining in on all the fun, and keep giving Dreddy shit about Collingwood, because that's the only premiership they're going to win. And
yes, absolutely.
So and it's really really cool. So awesome, mate. It's really cool.
Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Here's a question from Moff BR. He would like to ask, how did your time as a Marine shape or impact who you are now? And how do you live post-retirement from the Marine Corps?
How it shaped me now, I'm very disciplined. It's all about integrity, treating people with respect. I guess it's the core values that we had kind of mold me to who I am today. As far as just looking out for people. And, if you believe in something, you fight for it. And what was the last part of that question?
How do you live post-retirement?
I live great. I don't really have that much PTSD or anything like that for the most part. Like I said, I do carry everywhere I go, but that's part of my job and then part of my training as well. But we live out in the country. We enjoy life. All my neighbors are either former military or something like that for the most part. So, but yeah, I just live each day as it comes. Enjoy life the most, because there's, like I said earlier, you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So make the most of what you got today and be grateful for what you have. And so that's the way I live.
Yes, well said, well said. Thank you for that answer. I think it's Pete. Pete's turn.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of questions left, and then we'll get on to the quiz.
Okay.
I've got one here. It's not actually on the list, so we'll just say it's from me. What is your favourite cheese?
cheddar all the way.
Cheddar?
Absolutely. Yellow cheddar. Absolutely.
Do you have it in sliced or blocks, or how do you eat it?
If it's on tacos, it's shredded. If it's on turkey, it's going to be sliced thinly, but a lot of it. I'm a cheddar cheese fanatic. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have the cheese in a can? Have you ever had that?
Like the Velveeta cheese, or
Like in an
What?
aerosol can, like whipped cream.
Okay, yes. On those nights where you have those Ritz crackers, I don't know if y'all have Ritz crackers in Australia.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
okay, it's all over. Oh hell yes. That's
I've
like sitting on the
never
washing
had it.
machine during.
I've never had it. It's interested me ever since I saw it on a Goofy movie when he made the Leaning Tower of Cheeser.
Ah,
Yeah, ever
It's
since
actually
then I was
really
like,
good.
oh, what is that?
Yes, it's good stuff, man. It is. It's good stuff.
Excellent.
I've never had
Eva, you're up.
Vegemite though. That's something I
Oh,
wanted
you've
to
been
try.
missing out. Don't
Now-
try Vegemite. Try Cheesymite. It's so much better.
No, the best thing to do if you're going to have Vegemite is don't eat it like
Not-
Nutella.
Yes,
It's not.
it's salty.
Don't
I have
eat it
tried
like Nutella.
Vegemite.
Don't eat it like with a spoon. You've got to spread it really thinly on toast with a bit of butter, like extremely thinly. Don't. Most people grab a jar, grab a spoon, and they pull out a spoonsful, and it's like no.
What is it
That's-
made of?
It's actually
Yeast, it's a yeasty thing.
It's a yeast extract. It's actually a byproduct of making beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of making beer. So,
Well, this girl, this week, I'm going to see one of our basketball players from Moe, Australia. I'm
Oh,
gonna
down
see if
my
she
way.
has. As a matter of fact, she's actually from. It's TRARALOGON or something. There you go.
Traralgon.
That's where she's at. Yeah.
That's where my wife is today. She's seeing a weightlifting competition with one of
Oh,
her
really?
mates. From, yeah, he's
Oh,
from
nice.
Yeah. If you
down that
if you
way. Yeah.
Googled, no. Let's see. Who is this speaking?
Hey,
Pete. Okay. I'll message you her name. I'll have you Google her. I won't put it over the podcast for everyone to hear. But yeah, y'all let you Google her and kind of read up on her. But she's a damn good basketball player. And she actually
and good on
played
you
for the
for
all
pronouncing Moe instead of Mo.
I Googled it before I ever said it to her because I wanted to know how to pronounce it because I know everything's pronounced differently. So,
Oh yeah,
You're
we've got some
welcome.
funny town names here in Australia.
Yeah, we've got some very funny town names. All right, I have a question from Ghost.
Okay.
Ghost is a long-time listener and helper in the podcast. Who is your favorite podcast guest? And you cannot say any of the Fingersoft staff.
Any of the soft staff? Let's see.
Don't forget, we were guests once.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I haven't I haven't heard a lot of podcasts, and I need to get on it. So, but from what I've heard, I loved Vacopes. There was some about his that just the way he kind of explained things, or the way really Doc explained things for him.
Oh, that was hilarious. She's looking at me. She'd be staring at me, going, "Track." You know, I'm like, yeah, the track, you know. Or she'd say a word like nitro.
Oh,
You know?
Nitro. I was rolling. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Yeah.
Say nitro,
But-
and she's like, nitro? What's that? And it's like, no, it's part of the game. Don't worry, you know.
Because she
See his
doesn't play
side
the
of
game,
things.
so she has no idea about any of the lingo.
No.
I figured that. But just seeing kind of to pick his mind a little bit about how he sees the game and the fact that, this isn't a full-time thing for him.
No.
That's what's cool about it. I mean, I know people on other games, like with the other War Robots game, there's people like Manny and them, they're getting paid a shit ton of money by the companies to post these videos and all that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about Voco, I mean, he's only got 40,000 followers, but he wouldn't be getting the traffic to earn himself a decent keep from it, whereas someone like Vershak with 1 million followers would probably have the ability to, almost make a little bit of a living.
right. Makes
Anyway,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a question here from Brandon. Since you have not been to Australia, maybe I could rephrase this question. What is the best country that you have been to and why?
Probably Mexico. And the
Mm.
reason why is we did that when I was in the middle of the Marine Corps, and we were doing a job down there. But we got to see parts of central, like around Mexico City, that were really cool. When you get to see the history of it, like Mayan and Aztec pyramids, and you're walking in an area where you see finger paintings from 3,000 or 4,000 years ago that I can actually touch and know that someone did that long ago. Yeah, I'm not supposed to touch them, but yeah, but you're in the presence of something. Trust me, I got yelled at very, very, very bad in Spanish. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's like, oh my God. And they're excavating this whole thing. I'm a 19-year-old dumbass. So at the time, so yeah, but no, but yeah, so that was what was cool. Was Mexico, seeing those pyramids and stuff.
Yeah, very
Excellent.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Last question, I think, is from Cascade.
Okay.
What car do you think they will add next to HDR2?
Other than what JR said earlier,
The rock bouncer?
Yeah, I would think probably like the screwdriver, maybe.
Screwdriver? How are you supposed to drive a screwdriver? With your hands.
That was from that's from HCR1.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Do you know
Yes, it is.
Do you know the background to that actual that actual car? There was a competition for someone to create a new car, and the person who submitted that car was none other than Vershak. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Serious?
Yeah.
Serious.
How do you do that?
He did it. Oh, he would have been about. I reckon.
18 or 19, I think.
Yeah, he would have been in his teens when he did it, and he won the competition. They made the car. They released it to HCR1, and because he was a huge fan of the game, obviously, which
Still
then
is.
yeah, and still is. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really, really cool.
And he got to go to Fingersoft and meet all the people.
Yep.
From that competition.
Wow.
That's pretty slick.
Mm.
That's pretty slick.
So Fingersoft, if you're listening, which you kind of are, can you do the finger screw for HCR2?
Yeah.
Please.
Or do another one of those competitions.
Yeah, run another competition. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So,
I wish they would incorporate some more tracks from HCR1 into 2.
Nah,
like
you can
do
do
from
them
time
yourself
to time.
now. It's all good. They don't have to do that. You can do it yourself.
But it's just
lazy.
lazy. Yeah.
I just want to play the game.
Oh yeah, I'm just whatever throws up at me that's what I have fun with it. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with this.
Eva, I just want to say, and JR and Pete, thanks for having me on, because I need to go and I've got some duties to take care of. But I just want to say, appreciate you inviting me back on the podcast. It brought back some old good memories, and it was a good opportunity to talk to my mate Tex and Eva. I just want to say thank you very much to you and the team for allowing me to do so. I really appreciate it.
Cool, no problems.
All good.
Tex,
Thanks for
thank you
swinging
so
by.
much, mate. Yeah, anytime. Like, I was happy to be back. But Tex, awesome to talk to you, buddy. Not the last time, mate. We'll talk again soon. And
Absolutely.
And I'll hit you up in the server and we'll talk more sport. And it's a pleasure to talk to you, buddy, and get to know you a bit better. And it was awesome. Thanks for the experience.
Likewise, brother. That was fun. I enjoyed that immensely, and just getting to
it's not finished for you yet.
Cool.
It's not finished for you yet, mate. I think the team are going to drill you with some more quiz questions and things, but I've got to head off.
Right.
But
you got it.
But yeah, thanks again, everybody, and it was good to be back. And I've missed you all. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. And I get invited to, I guess.
All right, cheers, GTR, brother. You be safe, man.
Thanks, mate. Don't be calling me too quickly, Eva. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Thank you very much.
You too, GTR.
Yeah. Thanks, JR. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Quiz time.
All right.
Let's drill in with some quiz.
Yes, I think.
Drill me.
So this quiz is all about short, sharp answers.
All right.
Yep. Okay. It's time for the Never Have I Ever HillClimb Racing Edition quiz. So you get 1 point for each one that you have never done before. Okay? So the best way to answer is yes, I have done, or I have never done this before. Okay, first question. Have you ever reached the maximum GP?
Nope.
No. Next question. Have you ever achieved the maximum 15K score in a track?
Yes, once.
Yes, once. Okay, good. Next is, have you ever finished the road to legendary?
Nope.
No. Next is, have you ever started your own team?
No.
Oh. Next is, have you ever spent real money in the game?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Number 6 question, have you ever participated in any HCR2 tournament?
Yes.
Yes. Number 7, have you ever thought of giving up playing the game?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Next is, have you ever posted a suggestion in the Fingersoft server?
Yes.
Yes, you have. Next question, have you ever reported a cheater to the Fair Play server?
Yes.
Yes. Next question, have you ever had your account flagged for cheating?
No.
No. Number 11, have you ever been banned in any HCR or the Fingersoft server?
No.
No. And the last question is, have you ever done a face reveal on any Discord server, not including this one?
No.
No. Okay, I heard a lot of no.
Isn't your profile picture you?
But his face is not showing, so it's not.
Actually,
does that count?
Wait, hold on. I'm not sure. Hold on. That's why I'm sitting here.
Okay.
I had a brain fart. So, yeah. So my brain just farted. Yes, I guess I have, because if I look at, yeah. So yes, that last question is oops. Yeah, I have.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
That brings us to the end of the 12 questions. Now, you get 1 point for every never. So the smaller the number we've said is the better. And unfortunately, you're at 6, which means you're right in the middle. So don't feel bad, because if you do get the Hulkster of 2, you get to beat Hulkster or get Hulkster score. You don't win anything anyway. So it's not like you've missed out on anything either way. We do this for a bit of fun. It's a bit of a laugh. It was originally set up by JR to catch out Minstrel in her falling asleep and banning people. So yeah, we just have a bit of fun with it. I suppose I had one last question that and I this is going to be really controversial, and I just wanted to say you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but
Sure.
We've talked a little bit about guns, and I wanted to ask the question: what are your thoughts on gun control? I mean, considering Australia at the moment, you know it's illegal to own a gun unless you're a farmer or you have a reason to have a gun. Whereas in the US, it's literally your right to own a gun. What and the other aspect of this question is you've been trained in use and safety and all those other things. You know, what are your thoughts on true gun control within the US?
And I had a feeling this was going to get asked tonight, and I'm glad it is, to be honest with you. Because U.S. is one of very few countries. I know South Africa has a lot of people carry weapons as well. There's several countries, but not as many as what you'd think. Gun control. I do believe in universal background checks to the point of because in 1775 or 1776, sorry, when the Constitution of the United States was enacted. Times were different back then, but that allowed people to bear arms, and it's gotten to the point now where it's really not equal across the all United States because some states are a lot more strict than others. But the thing is that I'm all for universal background checks. The problem with that is that I can go right now to my next door neighbor's house and buy a Smith & Wesson M&P 45 right now, and it's just like buying, you know, a pair of shoes. It's no different. It's just a exchange of money, and there you go.
So there is a drive-through.
No,
not really like that. I mean, it's not quite.
I'm joking.
But
Sorry.
I'm saying, yeah. Now that you brought that up, no. But no, it's in a way though. That's where it becomes a little different or difficult to control, and that's why now, there's gun violence in just about every country in the world, because if bad guys want them, they can get them through some means, shape, or force. What the problem is with us is that, okay, bad guys get them. Well, you also have the good, the people like me who, I've been trained in deadly force encounters, how to carry, all that stuff. Of course, not every civilian that carries a gun really quite knows that. And you're never going to know how you're going to react until you get put in a situation. Via the active shooter classes we have at where I work. You just don't know. So proper gun control is very difficult because it all stems to the person. The shooting that just happened the other night in Maine. He's a National Guard guy which is Army, he's a reservist, but the fact that he's got mental issues on so many levels and had a suicide note, how do you control that?
Yeah.
And everybody wants change, but you can't. I don't know where to go with that. So, and
it's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned in 1776, when the Constitution was written, that guns were not the same. I mean, I lean on that a lot when I talk to people about it because, let's face it, in 1776 you needed to put the wadding in, put the gunpowder in, put the ball in, put more wadding in, and then shoot.
Right.
And there was no such thing as a semi-automatic pistol. There was no such thing as a magazine of 28 or 30 rounds. You had one
The
shot.
mindset was different. Yeah, and the mindset was completely different. You were there to protect not only your family, but it was a lot different. The whole mindset was completely different.
Yeah. So, and I did ask because mainly because of your training. You're not just a guy with a gun. You're a guy with a gun who was taught how to use it to not only defend himself but to defend his colleague, civilians, other people all around you. And it's not like for you it's like me holding a camera. It's a tool.
Right.
It's not a gun, it's a tool. It's your modus operandi. Without that, you can't do your job.
Correct.
So from that perspective, I wanted to see your opinion on gun control, and I really appreciate the fact that you shared that with us, because you could easily be seen as being pro or negative very quickly without having ramifications for that as well.
Absolutely. And I'm all about talking about stuff like this because not everybody understands since they don't live here in the United States and they only hear things secondhand through the news or whatever. A lot of opinions are based off that. And so that's where, and with me, de-escalation is number one priority before anything else. Deadly force encounter is always the very last resort. You don't dare pull your weapon out until you get to that deadly force encounter portion of it. So that's where it's a lot different. People do bark about the assault rifle. When I say bark, that's kind of a bad term to use, but you mentioned the tool thing. Lethal is lethal, and it's all about the mindset of the person behind the actual weapon itself. Does it give me a distinct advantage? Not necessarily. Not in a close quarter combat situation. It doesn't. A 9mm handgun will do equally as much damage, if not more, than an AR will, or AR-15 will. So that's where it's a lot different with that mindset too. But I'm all for talking about it, showing people, where my training, where my mindset is with it. And if you ask 30 other people, or even some of the people on my team right now, you might get a few different views.
There'd be 30 different views. That's
absolutely correct.
Yep, and that is the big thing. It's, as I said at the start of the episode, it was all about perspective. Your perspective, not only shows the fact that you've used them in your work, but and you talk about deadly force. It's if I pull the gun out, there is a reason for me to pull it out, and the consequences of me pulling it out are, X, Y, and Z, and that to me rings through the whole thing of why you would have the gun on your holster, on your hip to start with.
Right.
So no, I really appreciate you answering the question. I did want to ask it. I didn't want to write it down because I didn't want it to be too out there, and to be honest, I wasn't sure I was going to ask it, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, and this is where, when you have adults that actually are adults about it, can be respectful to each other and talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I'm glad you asked it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, well, look, that does bring us to kind of the end of the podcast.
Sure.
I did want to say, on behalf of myself, I wanted to say I really appreciated your time. I really appreciate you spending an hour or two with us, and being able to be as candid as you have about your work, your history, your life, and the game. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Pete and JR?
Thank you for coming into the podcast. It was really nice seeing you, putting a face and a voice to the name. And it was really nice hearing all your stories, all of them. So thank you so much.
Got to see the pug too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, and the pug.
And the pug.
And then the pug. Yes. Izzy.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Been great to get to know you and all your stories, and yeah, it's been good chatting with you. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we head off?
What y'all do is absolutely great. I really enjoy the AUSN group community. I really do. I don't really get onto the general too much because, in all honesty, there's a lot of kids on there. But other than that, I truly enjoy y'all. It's been a lot of fun getting to know each one of y'all, and the podcast y'all do. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and y'all do a great job. And so, and then of course the GTR. I mean, he was one of the first people that I really got to talk to on a normal basis, and he was always very kind and respectful and just real friendly to me, and that went a long way with me, and I really appreciated that on so many levels. And so, but yeah, getting to know y'all, y'all have always been great to me, and I can't thank y'all enough for that. So really to everyone in here, I can't speak highly enough of what y'all do and the kind of people y'all are. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
You're too kind.
Yeah. But
all right,
the day I come to Australia will be the time of my life. I can't wait until that happens. It'll be the dream come true.
Well,
you'll fall in love with the place and you'll want to move here, I bet.
I know it. Yeah, I'm looking, and we have just as many deadly things that'll kill you in Texas than they do in Australia. So I'm used to that portion of it. It's just I can't carry my gun everywhere in Australia like I do in Texas, like a rattlesnake or stuff like that. So, but
trust me, you don't need a gun for the spiders.
No, some of
I
them
don't know
do.
the Sydney funnel web. The Sydney funnel web that thing looks like it's about to kill just about anything known to mankind. The redback, I don't know much about the redback, although it's just very deadly. And of course,
the redback is tiny though. If you saw a redback in real life, you would go, "How can that be dangerous?" Right? How can that be dangerous? How can that be dangerous? And then you get closer and closer, and you go, "Yeah, nah."
See, the brown recluse here is like that, if it bites you, you don't really feel it until about 2 days later when you see everything dying under your skin, and you like, oh crap, this is really bad. But but the Sydney funnel web, I've seen and even to this day, I still check inside my shoes and my boots because I've watched documentaries on that spider that freak me out. I can handle just about anything known to mankind in this world. Spiders are my nemesis. I will absolutely go ballistic over a spider. If there's a spider on the floor, it's dying. I don't care. It will die. So yeah, that's just the way it is. So yeah, I do check inside my boots because I've watched too many shows about that where people put their foot in a shoe and get bit by that spider.
Well, there's a little spider in Australia called the daddy longlegs, and the daddy longlegs is the most venomous spider in Australia. But its
the most
venomous, and its fangs are too thin to actually penetrate human skin.
We have them here in Texas, and I play with them. I'll have them all over. Oh yeah. Then,
how funny is it when they do that little circle dance in their web? When you touch their web, they do a little spinny circle thing.
That's so
well,
cool.
I've always left daddy longlegs, webs alone, and I've actually encouraged bugs to fly into daddy longlegs to feed them, because if I see daddy longlegs around, it means no other spiders are in the house.
There you go.
The method to my
I like
madness.
that. That's so cool.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
on that note,
Yep.
let's have let's say goodbye. Just remember, if you are listening and you've been listening until now, don't forget to like and subscribe. And look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks again from all of us. Thanks to the listeners. Thanks to TX. Thanks, JR and Pete. Have a great week.
Thank you, Eva. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the podcast.
And see you all
Bye, everybody.